This segment of the Alice Stewart Show is brought to you by Aero Plumbing. For all your household or business plumbing needs, call Aero Plumbing at 1-866-PLUMBER or schedule an appointment online at aeroplumbing.net.
It's 35 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock on a Friday morning. I'm Rex Nelson, sitting in for Alice Stewart on 96.5 FM The Voice. Thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. Earlier in the show, we had State Senator Jim Hendren on, so we got to get the other side of the Arkansas legislature represented, and that's the Arkansas House of Representatives. We're going to move from a senator from Northwest to a representative from Northeast Arkansas. Representative Mary Broadaway, she is an attorney in Paragould, represents part of Greene County, and has a very, very deep interest in young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In fact, she is working with the University of Arkansas College of Education and Health Professions to sponsor a conference that will be beginning at 8:30 this morning at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Little Rock. Representative Broadaway, thank you so much for joining us on The Voice this morning.
Thank you so much, Rex, for having me. I'm really excited to be on today, and I'm thrilled about what's going to happen today in downtown Little Rock. We're going to have a fantastic symposium thanks to Dean Tom Smith from the University of Arkansas. Would you like to know about it?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about, what kind of people are attending, who's speaking, what the subjects are going to be this morning in downtown Little Rock.
Okay. I'll be glad to. Just real quick, what this is about is formulating a statewide network of post-secondary educational and vocational opportunities for young intellectually disabled students that complete high school. There are just not enough programs in Arkansas for our young students that are coming out that want to enter the workforce. And so we are having speakers from Boston, Massachusetts, a woman named Kate Weir, who is with Think College. Mm-hmm. Think College has been a pioneer in this area for 20 years. We are thrilled to have her. She's on the forefront. We are having Jade Carter, who has formulated a fantastic program in Birmingham, Alabama. We have folks from Mississippi State. We have folks from Tiger Life in Memphis, Tennessee. All of these have been very innovative programs to serve this population of young adults, again, who want to be included, who want to contribute, but there's just been no avenue for them to do so. So they're coming into Arkansas to tell us what they have done and give us some tips so we can start these types of programs in this state. We also have great folks from in Arkansas who have started this movement. Again, Dean Tom Smith. We have Linda Ducrow, who is with the Pulaski Tech 3D program, which is a great program in Little Rock. We have parents, students with disabilities. We have special ed folks. We have service providers. Larry Stang with UCP is going to speak. Philip Adams with the Promise Grant is going to speak, which is a fantastic program that starts out in high school to direct these kids. We have programming and a programming piece where Keith Beyer from Arkansas Support Services in Northwest Arkansas is going to speak. We have policy and financial aid. So we have folks from DDS that are going to speak. We have Janet Lawrence, who is with the Arkansas Department of Higher Ed, who is phenomenal. So we are going to have such a wealth of information, and it's just going to be a wonderful forum to brainstorm and address how we're going to move forward to serve this population in Arkansas.
Mary, talk a little bit about your interest in those with developmental disabilities in our state. How did that become such an interest of yours?
Well, anybody that meets me pretty much instantly knows that I have a 21-year-old son with autism.
Yes.
And when he was in high school, we started to discuss what was going to happen when he completed high school. And there were so few opportunities, as there still are. But we found a wonderful program in Northwest Arkansas in Fayetteville called Project Launch, which is designed to allow young students with intellectual disabilities a college-like experience. And we found this program, and we went over and we visited, and we fell in love with it. But very frankly, Rex, one of the worst experiences of my life was taking my developmentally disabled young son to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and leaving him. And I thought, no parent should have to do this, to be that separate from their child, for their child to have a real opportunity to have training, to enter the workforce, to live as independently as possible. And I'm so thankful that we had that program, and I'm so thankful that he thrived and he didn't miss a beat. It was okay. And he's graduated, and he's doing wonderfully. But when I decided to run for the legislature, I made this my mission. And I am hoping that when I'm finished, and when the folks working with me are finished, that no parent is going to have to travel more than 30 minutes for their child to have access to a program like this. It is a win-win. It creates people who would be dependent on the system to be able to get out and be included in our communities and work and become taxpayers. It's just such a win situation when the typical population can integrate with people with differences. It enhances both sides, and it makes our community a better place. And there is such an escalation of people with developmental disabilities because of the incidence of autism is just going out the roof, as well as other types of disabilities. But I think that this is going to be such a positive thing for our communities, for our state, for our citizens. And it's just something that we have to address.
Absolutely. Give me a sense of where you think Arkansas stands in comparison to other states in how we serve those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Are we behind the curve right now, or on par with other states?
We are in the bottom 5
That's a shame.
50 states. It is a shame. And Arkansas can do better. We are on the forefront of a lot of things, Rex, and this is one that we can. And, I was discussing with leaders in this area last night. Sometimes it's good to hang back a little bit and let other people experiment and let people make mistakes and successes. And so that's what today is about, people coming in and telling us what worked. So when we're ready to go in and implement these policies and these programs, we're going to benefit from their experiences. And that's what we're doing today. And the environment is ripe. The federal laws are ripe. The state environment is right. So many people are so excited and on board with this, and we genuinely believe that it can happen. And it's a nonpartisan issue. It's an issue that touches everybody, and regardless of economic strata, regardless of political party, regardless of geographic location. And we have higher ed, K-12, DDS, DHS, service providers, parents. We have everybody excited and on board with this program, and we've just got to make it happen. And I hope that we will pass legislation to enable higher ed to participate, and not mandate, but enable them to create these programs. And get on board with it.
That was going to be my next question. You have learned certainly in the last couple of years in the legislature that it really comes down to priorities of where the money goes. There are always going to be limited resources, and you have to make priorities. In visiting with your colleagues in the House and those over in the Arkansas Senate, are you sensing that more and more of them are realizing that improving these programs for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities needs to be more of a priority in Arkansas?
Well, I think so, and I think that it's just a matter of people being exposed to these ideas. One thing that I'm very proud of and that I strongly believe is that we are not going to have to really come up with new funds. This is going to be a redirection of existing funds. It's also going to allow people with these disabilities to qualify for financial aid and Pell Grants and things like that. So we're not going to have to go in and create a new funding source in our budget, I don't believe. But even if we did, for every dollar spent on getting an intellectually disabled person equipped and ready into the workforce, $1.42 comes back to our economy. So it's just a no-brainer. It enhances the quality of everyone's lives. And again, I reiterate, we are making people who want to be involved and want to contribute. We're giving them the avenue to do it. And it's also helping us financially with the bottom line. It's removing people from Social Security disability. It's making them taxpayers. It's giving them and their families skin in the game. And that is so important. You know, and I hope I'm not going over time, but, you know, when you give someone a job, it gives them a new lease on life. And people with intellectual disabilities, their jobs are their lives.
Absolutely.
And they show to be the most dedicated of employees if they're given a chance. And so after we get this piece, we've got to work on employers and incentivizing employers to hire people with intellectual disabilities, because that's a leap of faith as well. So there's so many pieces to this, but we've got to start somewhere, and this is I think, a great starting place.
Well, I need to let you get to your conference. I hope it goes well today, and this has been very enlightening. Mary, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Rex, and stop in if you have time.
All right.
It's going to be awesome.
That sounds great. State Representative Mary Broadaway from Paragould, our guest. Thank you for joining us. This segment of the Alice Stewart Show was brought to you by Arrow Plumbing. For all of your household or business plumbing needs, call Arrow Plumbing at 1-866-PLUMBER. That's 1-866-PLUMBER. Or schedule an appointment online at arrowplumbing.net.